everyone, September here, and today we're going to talk about introducing someone to the old EU, the expanded universe, which is now known as Legends. Either this could be a friend or someone else entirely. So let's go over some ideas that might be able to help you figure out ways of introducing Legends to someone new. So, sit back and relax. This is introducing someone to Legends. Okay, so, your friend probably already likes Star Wars. Well, find something else they like. Let's just say maybe they're into horror. Maybe they like zombies. Well, in that case, maybe you can try out Death Troopers. It is a good book. The audiobook is pretty good in itself as well. Basically, a Star Destroyer filled with Stormtrooper zombies. And put in a few Wookiee zombies in there for good measure. Find something that they like, either maybe some romance kind of related things, or I would say science fiction, but it's Star Wars, so it's already science fiction. Maybe you could try, like, if their friend happens to like, oh yeah, if they happen to like mysteries, or just basically find something that else they like and try to find a book that kind of fits that common interest. And it might be a good idea that you might go ahead and check out that book first, or actually look up the ratings on that book before you go ahead, because you don't want to give them a book like, okay, this kind of matches, but if it's a book that's been kind of got low grades and stuff like that, because not everything is gold, unfortunately. So make sure you actually read it, or at least look at the reviews and stuff like that to see if it's actually worth suggesting to your friend. Find something they like, look it up, and there you go. There's plenty of books you can find on Amazon for a good price. You can find digital copies for fairly good prices. You can find paperbacks fairly cheaply. So there's plenty of options out there. Let's just say maybe they happen to like a certain character from Star Wars. Well, there's plenty of Darth Maul books out there that are pretty good. Also, if they were real interested in Darth Plagueis the Wise, they can check out the Plagueis novel, which is a really good novel. And if this doesn't get no one into Star Wars, then Star Wars Legends, and I don't know what will. But find something they really like, either it's already in Star Wars related or outside, like horror, fantasy, romance, all that stuff, and introduce it to them. And maybe that might open them up a little bit more to actually want to go ahead and go forward and actually look up more stuff on their own. So let's go ahead and get to the next thing you might want to consider. Now, one thing that could probably happen is they probably already heard a few things about Legends. Either the fact that it is filled with the continuity is all messed up. That's one of the main things. Also, there's a lot of weird things that happen in Legends, like far out stuff. It's just like Luke is super all-powerful, like he is way too OP. There's a crying mountain. There's so many weird things, whatnot, and that. Well, there are a few weird things in Legends. And Legends, the whole Star Wars EU has been around, so there's going to be a few things here and there that might be a little bit weird and kind of off. But that should not discredit the entire expanded universe. For there are many great novels, games, and all kinds of other things that are just amazing. And hiding behind this cloud of all the negative really overshadows all the positives. So the best thing to do is actually talk to the person and try to go over some of those things. And the best way to go about it is don't go on the full-on attack. Try to keep yourself calm, explain a few things, and if you don't know much about a certain subject matter, or if you want a little bit more help and figure out how to better explain things, there are plenty of other people on YouTube that can give really good information about the expanded universe. I'll leave a few down below in the link that you can check out, that we can have more information to go off of. So, let's go ahead and go on to the next point. So, here's one thing that we kind of touched on just a little bit in the last thing that I said about introducing someone legends, and that is the attack. One of the things you probably should not do is straight up attack the person, especially if they are really into the new canon. For you see, if someone likes the new canon, then that's okay if they like it. If you don't like it, that's okay too. But when you go on the attack and try to say, the new canon is garbage, your opinion sucks, your taste is garbage, you're not a true Star Wars fan. I touched that on one video. But still, this will kind of deter them away from me even going anywhere near Legends, and might strengthen them to stay in the new canon and have false ideas. I think I'm explaining this right. But yeah, try to keep the conversation as civil as possible. Now, yes, it's okay to defend a thing you love, but when you take it to a certain step, then that will just deter people away. It's completely okay to like what you like, and it's completely okay to like what they like. After all, we are all fans of Star Wars. So keep the conversation as civil as possible, and there. Basically, what you're doing is basically the equivalent of, oh, you like dub? Filthy casual. I only watch sub, because I'm a real anime fan. Basically, that. It's that equivalent of that. It deters people away from a lot of things, so I think I rambled long enough. I think you get the point on this. So here is the last thing I want to say. Even though you might introduce them to something you think they might like, either a book based on something they like, or you talk about some of the talking points, that, this, and that, sometimes they might just not get into it, period. And sometimes it's best to leave it at that. Of course, you know, it sucks, because you have something you want to share, and when you have something you want to share, and something you really like, and when someone else doesn't like it as much as you do, then it kind of sucks. But you know what? Sometimes it's best to leave it at that. When you keep pushing and pushing and pushing on someone who doesn't have that much of a care or interest in it, it's not going to do much good, really. Maybe one day they might come across something of their own. They might come across a book, or they might see a YouTube video talking about a certain character or a certain event that might interest them. But sometimes the best thing that gets someone interested in something is time. And you keep pushing it and pushing it might not be the best course. So I think that's all I really have to say about the subject matter. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and hopefully I didn't sound too rambly like I usually do. This is September for Jedi, signing off. Oh, and remember, the Force will be with you. Always. Except for you Star Trek fans, you can all burn. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't take that literally. Filthy Trekkies.
The Force will be